welcome back to Cloveriness. My name is Michelle and I'm here today to do an unhaul video. Now I've seen quite a few of these unhaul videos lately and it was something that I do normally, but I never thought to do a video about the whole process of ridding myself of books, and that's what I'm doing today. The thing with me is that I don't really consider myself to be a book collector. Like, I don't keep very many books for myself generally, mostly because I don't do a lot of rereading, and also because I only really keep the books that have had a really emotional impact on me personally. What I generally do with books in my household is I do separate out my young adult titles from my adult books. I mostly just bag up my adult books and put them in a charity shop. What I'd normally do with my young adult books is I'd gather all of the books together, and this happens once or twice, no more than 2 times a year, I would say. Gather all the books together and then ring up a local secondary school and ask if they are accepting donations. A lot of secondary schools, I find, don't have really large budgets to buy in new stock, and they're always generally really grateful for any donations. So I have 4 secondary schools in the area that I try to alternate between so that they're all getting some of, you know, my old books if they like. And the reason I do this is just because I'm not doing anything with these books, but I love the idea of actual teenagers out there having the possibility of reading these books and finding a new author or series or book that really means something to them. Now, I find that the books that I donate to these secondary schools fall into one of sort of 4 or 5 different categories, so I'm just going to quickly run through some of those. Now, the majority of the books, I would say, fall into the category of books I really enjoyed reading, like these 4. I loved all of these books. I thought they were really good, but the only thing is that I don't think that I would read them again. Alright, so I really recommend that you pick up these books, but for me personally, I feel like these books would mean more to other readers. So why not give them a chance to pick them up and discover them for the first time? Another category that they fall into are series that I enjoyed reading, but ones that I wouldn't necessarily reread ever. So, like, you know, The Selection, it was an alright story, but am I gonna go back to them? Same with the Strange Angels series. They're really good while they lasted, but I probably won't return to them. So those 2 categories are mostly the same, except one are standalone books and the other are in a series. Another sort of category of books that I give away are books that I bought or acquired myself, hoping that they'd be really good, but they just didn't work for me. Like, I tried reading Beautiful Creatures and I just couldn't really get into it. Now that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the book or the stories, but I just couldn't find my feet in them, so there's no point holding on to these sort of books in my mind. The last sort of books that I tend to give away are duplicate copies of review books sent from the publisher. I had 2, maybe 3 copies of this one sent to me by accident, I'm sure. But I only ever need one book of the same story. And books like these in which they were sent for review and I didn't really connect with them. Generally with the review books, I do send a list over to my guest reviewers, and if they don't fancy them, then it goes into my secondary school donation pile. We've got quite a few books to be given away here. I don't know if I mentioned already, these are 72 books going to charity. Sorry, I I don't know if I mentioned it already, but it's 72 books going today to different, to the secondary schools in my area. Don't really know if you can see all of those. I think the light coming in here is making it really shiny.